Hi, today we're on our range, and recently I did a presentation evaluating the Federal 22 long rifle punch ammunition. That led to a lot of people requesting that I evaluate the Winchester Silvertip 22 long rifle ammunition. Because of those requests, and because I was actually able to find some of the Winchester ammunition at the store, today we will be evaluating the Winchester Silvertip 22 long rifle with power to defend. Interesting, the label also reads, segmenting hollow point optimized for handguns. This ammunition is marketed, as near as I can tell, with the idea that if you are using a firearm caliber 22 long rifle for concealed carry, personal protection, home defense, that this would be a good choice in ammunitions. And we'll see if we can shed some light on that. Now, I will not be able to evaluate the Winchester ammunition for reliability. I just don't have enough of it to do that. But we can evaluate it for power, accuracy, and effectiveness. And we'll do that by shooting it alongside some other 22 long rifle ammunitions that I would consider good, or if not good, at least popular choices for concealed carry, personal protection, home defense, such as CCI Mini Mags, CCI Stingers, and Remington Yellow Jackets. And we'll see how the Winchester compares. And we'll start by going to the chronograph. I have the chronograph set up at 7 yards, and we'll test our different ammunitions from firearms with different barrel lengths. But I'm going to start with the Winchester Silvertip with its 37 grain hollow point, and my Ruger LCP2 with a 2.5-inch barrel. .921, 927, 923, 909, 930, and 930. When we get the same reading twice consecutively, we'll throw out one of those. Now let's see how that compares to some other types of ammunition in our LCP2. And now our CCI Mini Mags with their 36 grain hollow point. .950, 935, 947, 970, 891, 936, and 971. Let's see how that compares to the Stingers. And now the CCI Stingers with their 32 grain hollow point. .1050, 1,049, 1,061, 1,062, 1,051. Now let's try our Yellow Jackets. And now the Remington Yellow Jackets with their 33 grain truncated cone hollow point. .947, 986, 998, 968, 944, and 948. Now let's try a different pistol. Now we're back to the Winchester Silvertips, but now I have my Smith & Wesson M&P 22 with a 4-inch barrel. Let's see if this increases our velocity. 1,009, 975, 981, 939, 936, 994, and 1017. Let's try another type of ammo. And now our mini mags. A 1036, 1042, 990, 1027, 1024, 1012, and 1060. Let's try the stingers. And now the stingers, and remember the stingers are a 32 grain bullet. $11.52, $11.95, $11.22, $11.27, $11.30, $11.08, and $11.51. Let's go to the Yellow Jackets. And now the Yellow Jackets. $9.83, 1045, 1009, 1067, 1086, 1020, 1008, and 1002. Now let's try one more gun. Now let's shoot our silver tips from my Ruger 1022 with an 18.5-inch barrel. $12.15, $11.96, $12.10, $12.11, $12.25, $12.22, and $12.41. Let's try another type of ammo. And now the mini mags. $12.34, $12.58, $12.79, $12.62, $12.45, and $12.57. Let's see how those compare to the stingers. And now the stingers. $14.91, $15.26, $14.97, $15.22, $15.26, and $15.14. Let's try one more type of ammo. And the Yellow Jackets. $12.72, $13.31, $12.85, $13.13, 1335, 1342, and 1262. And finally, let's go crunch the numbers. Well, I crunched the numbers and here we are. But before we get to the numbers, there's a couple of things I have to explain. First, some time ago when we did our presentation evaluating the Federal 22 long rifle punch ammunition, we shot that ammunition out of a short-barreled pistol, a moderate-length barreled pistol, and a rifle, specifically the 1022. And we compared those results to the results we got with the mini mags, the stingers, and the yellow jackets out of the same firearms. And it might seem redundant to shoot those other ammunitions again today. However, chronographs don't always agree with each other, and certain environmental factors like ambient temperature, barometric pressure, and humidity can, to slight degrees, affect chronograph results. So if we're going to shoot the Silvertip ammunition here today, we have to compare it to the results with the other ammunitions here today, not the results we got weeks ago. I also have to do the very short version of the explanation of how barrel length can affect velocity. Now, there are other factors in play, but the short version is that when your firing pin or your striker hits your priming compound, detonating it, starting the combustion of your propellant, pressure is built up, forcing that projectile down the barrel. The longer your barrel, the more time that projectile will spend in the barrel. Therefore, the longer you have to build up more pressure and get more efficient combustion of your propellant. So, the longer your barrel, the more velocity you'll get, up to a point. And again, there are other factors in play. Now, all of these ammunitions like the mini mag, the stinger, and the yellow jacket, those really are varmint hunting ammunitions. They really are made for rifles. But the Silvertip ammunition is labeled optimized for handguns. And that should mean that your propellant, both in quantity and in type, is configured in such a way that it will give you a more efficient burn in a short barrel than the other propellants will. Thus, in the short barrels, we should see some favorable comparisons. However, when we go to the chart, I'm not seeing that. In our LCP2 with its 2.5-inch barrel, our Silvertip ammunition gives us a mean velocity of 922, the mini mag 942. And remember, we're comparing a 37 to a 36 grain projectile, so not that much difference. But the difference in velocities is within the variation of one round to the next, not enough difference to make a difference. Now, we look down at the end of our chart, we see that our yellow jacket gets a mean of 965, but remember that's with a 33 grain projectile. So slightly less weight in the projectile. And we get 23 feet per second more than the mini mag, 43 feet per second more than the Silvertip, but with a lighter projectile. I'm going to say the differences there are minimal. However, our stinger, with a velocity of 1,054, with a 32 grain projectile, is only 1 grain less than the yellow jacket. So its velocity being 112 feet per second more than the mini mag, I'm going to say the stinger is the clear winner. Now, when we move up to the 4-inch barrel, we expect all of our velocities to go up, and we see that they do. But we see that our Silvertip has a velocity of 978, and our mini mag and our yellow jacket both have velocities of 1,027. Again, the yellow jacket achieves that with a slightly lighter bullet. But we see that that's now 49 feet per second more than our Silvertip. And that might be enough difference to make a difference. But we also see that our stinger now has a velocity of 1,140. That's 113 feet per second more than our mini mag. That's a lot of difference. Now, interesting, in our 2.5-inch barrel, the stinger was 112 feet per second ahead of the mini mag. In our 4-inch barrel, it's 113 feet per second ahead of the mini mag. Granted, with a slightly lighter bullet, but still I'm going to say the stinger is the clear winner. Now, when we get to our rifle with an 18.5-inch barrel, we expect to see significantly greater velocities, and we do. But with our Silvertip, we see 1278. With our mini mag, 1255, 38 feet per second more. With our yellow jacket, 1305, again, slightly lighter bullet, but that's 88 feet per second more than the Silvertip. So, is that enough difference to make a difference? I'm going to say probably yes. But The Stinger, with a velocity of 1,512, that's 207 feet per second more than its closest competitor, and remember, its 32 grain bullet is only 1 grain less than the Yellow Jacket's bullet. So again, I'm going to have to say the Stinger is the clear winner. So what we see here is that our Silvertip, in my opinion, is not comparing favorably with our other ammunitions. And even though it's labeled optimized for handguns, I'm not really seeing any evidence of that. However, as I have said so many times, all of these are just numbers on a page. How will these translate into effectiveness on the intended target? Let's see if we can put that to the test. To test our effectiveness, I'm going to use a demonstration called the meat target. For those who haven't seen it before, the meat target is leather couch skin, followed by pork steak pectorals, pork ribs, a bag of oranges to simulate lung tissue, more pork ribs on the back, 4 layers of t-shirt on the front, 4 layers on the back, and the whole thing followed by the new and improved high-tech fleece bullet stop. I'm going to shoot this from a distance of 7 yards, and I'm going to start with the LCP2 with its 2.5-inch barrel, and I have this loaded with a combination of CCI Stingers and CCI Mini Mags. Let's see what kind of results we get. Our ribs on the front of the target have some pretty good holes in them, and where projectiles hit ribs, shattered them. We have some moderate damage to our orange lung tissue. Our ribs on the back of the target just have 22 caliber holes in them. Now, as far as penetration, a couple of the projectiles were stopped by the ribs on the back of the target. Some were stopped by the t-shirt on the back of the target, and a few made it through to the first few layers of fleece. But let's take a close-up look at the condition these projectiles are in now. Here's our mini mags, and you can see some of them have been deformed by hitting bones, but as far as hollow point expansion, it's almost non-existent. And here's our Stingers. I was only able to recover 3 of them, but as you can see, they all have good hollow point expansion. So why did we get expansion from the CCI Stingers, but not from the CCI Mini Mags? I shot them both from the same gun, at the same target, at the same distance, so what was different? 2 things. 1, bullet design, and 2, the even greater factor was velocity, or the lack of it. Remember that hollow points are velocity based. The faster you propel them, the more expansion you'll get, up to a point. If you propel a hollow point bullet too slowly, it will drop below expansion threshold and you'll get very little to no expansion, and that's what we're seeing here. I've found that when I've hunted jackrabbits with CCI Mini Mags, they are very effective and have very good hollow point expansion when they're fired from a rifle, or from a pistol that has a barrel length greater than 4 inches. The 2.5-inch barrel of the LCP2 drops that mini mag below its expansion threshold. So now I have a new meat target set up, and now I have the LCP2 loaded with the Remington Yellow Jackets and the Winchester Silvertips. I'll shoot these from 7 yards and let's see how we do. We see fairly good damage to the ribs on the front of the target, and again, where projectiles hit ribs, shattered them. We see some moderate damage to our orange lung tissue, and the ribs on the back of the target have some holes in this side, but very few holes in this side. Most of the projectiles were stopped by the ribs on the back of the target. A few were stopped in the orange lung tissue, and only 1 actually penetrated completely through the target to where it was stopped by the t-shirt on the back of the target. So, with both the Yellow Jackets and the Winchester Silvertips, we see significantly less penetration. But let's take a look at the condition these projectiles are in now. And here's the Yellow Jackets that I recovered, and you can see that they're deformed, but not much hollow point expansion. And here's what's left of our Winchester Silvertips, and again, I don't see much in the way of hollow point expansion, but remember these are segmenting bullets, and we do see that these particular bullets fragmented far more than any of the others. Shooting at the meat target from 7 yards is not something I would consider a challenging test of accuracy, so let's try something else. I'm going to shoot from 20 yards with my Smith & Wesson M&P 22, and I'll shoot with the Silvertips, the Stingers, and the Yellow Jackets, and we'll see how the groups compare in size and location. Now this is me shooting offhand from 20 yards and firing as fast as I think I can hit. And we see the group with the silver tips is not bad. The group with the stingers, definitely in a different place, but the group sizes are comparable. Probably the best group is with the yellow jackets. And although all of this says more about me than it does the ammunition, this does show us that our silver tips in the hands of the average shooter are going to deliver accuracy sufficient for the ammunition's designed purpose. So the takeaways from all of this. In terms of accuracy, the Silvertip ammunition looked comparable to the other types of ammo we were testing today, and it's certainly more accurate than I am. But in terms of power, as measured by the numbers on the chart, the Silvertip ammunition was not impressive at all. In terms of its effectiveness on the meat target, again, I was not impressed by the results. The Silvertip ammunition was certainly not as effective as the CCI Stingers, which have been on the market for over 40 years. The real bottom line here is this. Is Winchester Silvertip 22 long rifle ammunition the right ammo for me? No. Is it the right ammo for you? You be the judge. So as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the Winchester Silvertip 22 long rifle ammunition review.